Jake Hager was wrapped to the cage by his friend and fellow WWE superstar. Well, Jack Swagger is a former WWE superstar, but R-Truth wrapped him to the cage, and there was just this overwhelming support for Jack Swagger, man. Some overwhelming support that you did not see when a CM Punk fought either time. You saw it here and there, but man, for a show that was much lower profile than a lot of the UFC shows that CM Punk has been on, I think it's kind of wild how much support that Jack Swagger got. I mean, my God, man, this guy is really well liked, and I've told you guys on Twitter, he could not be more unlike his pro wrestling persona, his pro wrestling character. He is a very nice guy. He's very positive, but he was able to take down JW Kaiser with relative ease. Let's give you guys a glance of how it went down. He threw some nasty elbows from the top, and then ultimately would, from half guard, apply this arm triangle, and damn, was it nice. That got it done. That sealed it up. JW Kaiser win. Now, JW Kaiser boasts about 50 amateur fights. I don't know if he really had that many. It's hard to tell. But despite Jack Swagger's background, his extensive wrestling background, and it showed here, there were some obstacles. I mean, granted, Jack Swagger's he's a much bigger, stronger guy. It's not that always that easy to get your hips underneath somebody. And anybody who's had 50 fights, well, I don't know whether or not JW Kaiser really has, you could always run the risk of that guy connecting with your chin, putting you out. You never know. Well, Jack Swagger didn't know, and this was a resounding success for Jake Hager, for Bellator, for WWE. Jack Swagger said after the fight that he wants to fight for a decade. He told us that he wanted to fight 3 times this year. Big submission win for him. And just an amazing amount of support. WWE even congratulated him. It was this weird line that Jack Swagger said after the fight. Sometimes to convince Vince McMahon, you have to convince. Well, you have to believe that Jack Swagger, the better that he does as an MMA fighter, the more valuable he'll be in pro wrestling moving forward. We've always seen that. Joseph Boza says Jake trains at Dave Bautista's MMA gym in Tampa. Yeah, he trains with Josh Rafferty of The Ultimate Fighter 1, who has worked with Sheamus and Dave Bautista and Davey Boy Smith Jr. So there's a lot of pro wrestling crossover there with Josh Rafferty. We have an interview with him up on the channel as well. We also had an interview with John Fitch. Now, I'm going to do an article on that this week, but I'm going to give you all the inside track. You know, James Lynch always asks a lot of these fighters about their pro wrestling connections and if they've ever liked it, because we do run a pro wrestling site as well. John Fitch told James Lynch that when he found out wrestling was fake, he cut the dicks off of all of his pro wrestling toys. Now, I've owned several pro wrestling toys, and I've never known them to have dicks. What did he cut off?